Hey guys, welcome to Tube Tuesday. It's me, Moon Pies, and this is the first installment of the Moon Pies Workshop, Moon Pies Clinic. Anything I can do to help you and your videos and your channels get more exposure on YouTube is what I'm all about. Now, I sent out a request last week for people who wanted their videos reviewed as part of this workshop, and I was overwhelmed. I was blown away. There were more than 40 requests on the channel, on the video itself, and I have a few people who either messaged me directly or they put in a comment on my channel page asking to be reviewed. I don't know if and when I'm going to be able to get around to most of you or to all 50 of you. I'm going to try. And I'm not going to do this every week. I'm not going to have a weekly installment every time. But sometimes when I do, I'm going to try to get maybe 2 or 3 people in there if I can, just try to cover as much ground as I can. Now, keep in mind, even though this is my the first one I'm doing is Jeremy from Polyphonic Press. He was the first one to request the review. I'm not doing these chronologically, but I figured I would symbolically start with the first request this time. This isn't just me talking to Jeremy here. This is hopefully advice that will apply to anybody who has a YouTube channel, and I guarantee you over the next 5 to 7 minutes you're going to find stuff here that you'll be able to apply to your video as well to make yourself stand out, your channel stand out. Now, Jeremy reviews CDs, indie rock CDs to be more specific, and he has 22 reviews up so far over the last 3 months, so it's good, consistent, 1 or 2 reviews every week, and he does a great job of describing in 3 to 5 minutes a whole album. And I'm going to play this without the sound. I'm just going to have this play in the background just so you can get a feel for the type of video that he does. And he does not play sound clips, which may seem lacking at the first, but it's what you have to do if you ever want to be a YouTube partner. If you don't want to get copyright strikes against you, you can't have music that you don't own. And I don't know if Jeremy actually owns the intro and the outro music he uses for his stuff, or if it's someone else's music. He may want to change that into something, stock, something you can get that's not someone else's stuff because it can actually get flagged if it is. I couldn't make it out myself. But by not putting the clips of songs here, he can still get around that if he feels that it's necessary by using annotations. And you can put an annotation box right here at the beginning of the video or somewhere after he starts describing the tracks. In this case, it's Kurt Weill's Smoke Ring for My Halo is the CD that he's reviewing. He can actually single out certain tracks and find the YouTube either videos or someone who just uploaded the song. Obviously, most of these songs are going to have official videos and go out there. He can also use this as a video response. I recommend Matador Records is Kurt Weill's label, and they do have a YouTube channel. Matador RECS is the name of its channel. And Jeremy may want to do this, if anything, just to get noticed by the label. And any good label A&R person would take note that someone out there's creating some cool reviews here for indie rock, something you don't really get a lot out on YouTube, and maybe reach out to him and get him some CDs and stuff like that. At least that's what I would do if I ran a label A&R department, but your mileage may vary, obviously. Now let's get to the rest of the descriptions. Now, Jeremy's got new media down. He has a Twitter page, a Facebook page, a Last.fm page, and a website. Now, if we go to the website, it is a WordPress blog, and what he can do here, if we go down to where he has the Twitter feed, and also he has here the reviews that he does. Here he can actually embed it at the end of the video and copying the description. At the bottom of this, he can also put in a clip, an actual Kurt Weil clip. Kurt Warner. I'm thinking fantasy football already. 3 years ago, Kurt Warner was worthy. All right, so you have this where he can actually embed the video down here at the end, and it would actually be pretty decent because it would be the video, his review, the song tracks and stuff, and then at the bottom the actual Kurt Weil, an official video or someone's songs or anything related to the album, so people can actually hear what he's talking about, not just the great descriptions that Jeremy's providing. Now let's go back to the video. Let's go back to his channel and let's talk about the description here. And as you can see, he has just basically the name of the artist, the album, some of the highlights, his favorite tracks, and then the final score rated from 1 to 10. What I would do is I would try to flesh this description box out a little more by putting in the whole track list. There's no reason you can single this out, but at the bottom, put in anything you can about the CD, the producer, the mixer, anything, any names you can get out there, anything that will help someone search for Kurt Weil's this record. If it can help him, he'll stand out. Because obviously, if you put the whole track list, not everyone's going to have the entire track list. Not everyone may have the names of the producers or any of the particular musicians who played on it, aside from Kurt. Anything that you can put on this to make it stand out and make it more descriptive for Google searches, related Google searches, is I always recommend that. Now let's go to his tags. And to get to the tags, you have to come down here to the actual standalone file for the video. And again, let's pause that here and let's go down to the tags. And he does a great job. You're not going to be able to see this, I doubt, since it's tiny print. But he basically does Polyphonic Press, album review, rock, Kurt Vile, Smoke Ring for My Halo, singer-songwriter jam. Great stuff. I'm going to talk about Kurt Vile, because the good thing about these tags is that if you click on Kurt Vile, you can see what people are, the most highest ranked under that tag. And you can see the first one is obviously the Matador Records, and a lot of other people that have uploaded stuff, including, songs like Jesus Freak from the album and stuff like that. Now we go back to the tags. What I would do is I would suggest putting in, and I haven't covered this, I don't think I've covered this on any of my other previous channel lessons, but something that I think is actually pretty cool is you have Kurt Vile, misspell it as a second or third entry. Try Kurt Vile with a C, because a lot of people may not necessarily know how to spell Kurt Vile. They may have heard of him, they may come check it out, but they may not spell it the right way. They may even spell Vile, who knows, how they may spell Vile, but Kurt, definitely a lot of people may spell it C-U-R-T or K-I-R-K. And true story, a website that I own, I haven't updated in a while, but oncefamous.com, which is a site that has pages, celebrities that came and went, one-shot hit wonders on TV and stuff like that. And there's a page for Kirk Cameron, the guy who was on Growing Pains, one of the kids, and then he went on to be a Christian actor after that. And throughout the review, there's a reference to him as, it was a typo on my part, as Kurt Cameron, just as Kurt Vile, K-U-R-T instead of K-R-K. And I let it go through, and then I noticed that a few years after that, I got more hits through Kurt Vile, K-U-R-T, the misspelled spelling led to my page, than the right way. Because, there's hundreds of thousands of Kurt Cameron references out there, but not too many of Kurt Cameron. So a lot of times you can get by on a typo, may be more valuable to you than the actual spelling. And if you feel like a dunce for actually misspelling it, don't worry. Nobody checks out the tags. It's just, nobody goes down and do what we just did. Moving on. At the end of the video, he has a contact information where he actually tells people maybe that anybody has any CDs to review or anything, how to contact him and all that. He could probably do all that in his own in a standalone video, and then just save that time by putting at the end a little annotation here for labels or anyone else who wants to contact him to click on there, and that could click to that original video. So instead of repeating himself every time, he could do that. Now let's go to Amazon.com. All right, one thing that that Jeremy doesn't do is he doesn't monetize these videos, which is pretty obvious. If someone actually reads this review and they're compelled, they may actually want to go out and buy Kurt Vile's record. And in this case, I'm going to search for it on Amazon. And here you see we have the MP3 download, $7.99, not a bad price. The actual CD, for people who like hard disc, people still like the optical disc, $11.03. And what he can do is, if he joins Amazon Associates, which is a free program where you get as much as up to 15% back off any sales, go to the actual listing of the page. And here I have, the Amazon Associates provides a free toolbar if you want it. If not, you can hard code it by just putting what you want. And you just put link to this page, an option there. And then it'll actually tell you how you want to set it up. And if you just want, text only, and then you can just have the text right here. Just copy the text of right there, the whole text part of it. And then that's it. And you have a text where you can shorten it using, bit.ly or any kind of URL shortener, and use that on his page to refer to the CD. So if anybody was interested in buying it, they could actually pick it up at a good price through Amazon, and Jeremy will get as much as 15% back off any sales that result from that. So that's it, and that'll do it. That's this week's installment of the clinic and the workshop. See you next week.